Kamek Island. This hack was created by Gamma 5 and is a fairly full game as a whole. Across its 7 different worlds, it features 70 levels with a total of 82 exits. Kamek's Island is not too different from Yoshi's Island, narrative-wise at least. Kamek has decided to do what Bowser couldn't and lock away all the Yoshis and castles. A pretty classic setup for a pretty good time. The gameplay itself had a challenging collection of different obstacles to overcome. False platforms, piranha plants that didn't care if you stood on them, and icy stages were used in a variety of different ways to make different challenges. It was tough to get by them and satisfying when you did. However, I will say they were way too concentrated. It seemed like whenever a new concept was introduced, it was used liberally for levels on end without variance. There was very little breakup in the challenges, so you would find yourself completing similar level after similar level, and it didn't help the levels were fairly long most of the time. It was like someone had decided to make peanut butter chocolate chip cookies, and forgot to mix the batter. Great idea, just way too concentrated. Thankfully there were spacer levels and change-ups so it wasn't a slog. A new concept would be introduced right before things became tedious. And the challenges were fun, mostly. So I wasn't dreading the next section, just looking forward to the next challenge. What was blended in really nicely though were the aesthetics. The music was a fair bit different and I didn't recognize quite a few of the new songs. They fit into each world and level very nicely and made me really get into it. The levels themselves also looked fantastic. A lot of the assets and level art I recognized from the general hack-making community, but the way they were mixed together to make environments feel full was great. I was looking at the original Super Mario World recently, and it hit me how random some of the levels felt. Mechanically, the game was amazing, but enemies sometimes felt out of place. Blocks threw off a world a little bit. Sometimes levels felt downright empty. In Kamek's Island, it feels like you are in a world. Well, a Mario-type world, but a world nevertheless. It just feels full, and like there are things to do. Gamma 5 even changed the Switch Palaces to include fun little challenges. Nothing too difficult, but it was fun. Lastly, let's talk about bosses. With the exception of Reznor, all the bosses were different from Super Mario World. They were all fairly simple. For the most part, they were fair and each had its own gimmick you needed to overcome. Some of them sped up a little too fast for my taste, but it was fine and fun. All except for the last boss, Kamek. Kamek is a flying little jerk. He speeds up way too fast, his attacks stay on screen for too long, and he is constantly destroying the platform you're standing on. Oh, and he moves erratically after 2 hits. I did manage to beat him, but I didn't view this fight as fun. Satisfying to beat, but there was just a little too much BS for me to enjoy the fight. My final thoughts. The game is pretty challenging, but hardly unfair. In most cases. While I did have my problems with it, the music, challenging level design, and other changes and additions from the original game kept me engaged enough to overlook the rough spots. As a game, I rank this 3 out of 5 laser shrooms. In personal fun, I rank this game 4.5 out of 5 laser shrooms. Thank you for watching. I hope this review helped. If you'd like to see more Mario hack reviews, go to the Super Hack Quest playlist, which I linked in the description. If you're interested in knowing how to patch and play these hacks yourself, go ahead and go to my tutorial on how you can patch your own ROM hacks and play them using an emulator, which of course is linked in the description below as well. I'd also like to give a big shout out to the Super Mario World Central community. Without all their hard work and dedication, there'd be none of these hacks for us to play. They deserve all the praise they can get. And lastly, like this video if you did, and if you'd like to see more, please subscribe. Thank you very much, have a good day, see you guys next time.